Vic De La Rosa, Carlos Abreu.
All right. Go with the who, whatever you want.
All right.
He way too much for you. And you way too much.
But here we go. We're going to take a look at some action from the last round. As you can see, Phil Jackson delivering a nice overhand right hand that landed on the left side of the temple area of Larry Donald. A good shot landed by Phil Jackson in the red trunks here. And here you see, on the other hand, a good uppercut landed by Larry Donald in the white trunks. And then he countered with a little small, kind of ineffective left-right hand combination. But this is going to heat up into something really, really brutal here in a few rounds, in my opinion.
All right, here we go, round number 3. Larry Donald, Phil Jackson. Want to send our best wishes along to Robert Ritchie, who's been recovering from a bit of high blood pressure as Phil Jackson nails Larry Donald with a right hand to open this round, and give a little hello to Brian Cannon, our photographer, who does such a great job for everyone with DKP. All right, round number 3. Bob Sheridan, Carl King, and Phil Jackson has turned it up a notch here. Larry up on his toes, bouncing but staying right in front of his man, goes with the jab. He's elected to go with the jab again. And then he'll come back and try to throw that right hand. You know, Carl, when he threw that right hand in the last round with the uppercut and then right back with the overhand right, it was very effective, but didn't just quite get the exact spot that he wanted to nail Jackson with. If he did, you'd see Jackson sprawl to the cannon.
Well, you know,
let's go break it.
Vice versa, by the way, on Phil Jackson's left hook.
Oh,
so that's why the crowd doesn't like it, because Larry has to watch himself that he doesn't get exposed. You just saw it then. That left hook missed. The crowd doesn't appreciate the positioning that Larry has to maintain, so he doesn't get clipped with that.
But these guys are just a little bit outside the kill zone right now. And they're still in the filling out process as we're going into the early into the third round. Both guys got a lot on the line. Both guys need to be very cautious, and both guys need to also make sure that they don't get clipped with the big Hail Mary punch.
Now don't forget, Jackson's been 12 with one of the, well, it's the lesser of the heavyweight championship belt buckles, the WBO belt. He did go 12 solid rounds with Chris Bird, who's a very, very good fighter and very awkward and difficult fighter to beat, as the Klitschko brothers found out when they ran into the problem in Germany when Bird came on as an opponent, they thought, and all of a sudden he came back to the United States of America with the WBO belt wrapped around his midsection.
Well, that's what these guys go out to do. They try to capture these crowns. And guys like Phil Jackson and Larry Donald, they want an opportunity to be able to do that. And that means that they got to really, really show a real good effort tonight in order to get that possibility of the future.
Again, when we have an opportunity, we want to thank from the Grand Casino, Kay Austin, who's helped us out all week in the public relations department here, and our own man, Greg Fritz, which helps us in every fight to get ready for these telecasts. And of course, we praise Colleen Galloway for being instrumental in putting the whole deal together with DirecTV and Don King Productions so that we can bring you this great night of boxing exclusively here from Tunica, Mississippi on DirecTV. Third round action, Larry Donald. It's a lackluster fight to this point, but there's a lot that Larry has to figure out with this guy. He really has figured him out, but there's a lot he still has to be careful. He wants to wear this guy down a bit, take away some of the offensive power of Phil Jackson before he really goes for what I call the knockout punch.
Well, you know, this to Phil's credit, he's not an easy target. He's in great shape, and oh!
Now that's a slip. He fell back on the paint of the logo on the canvas. The bell ends round 3, and it was just a pushback and then the slip on the canvas.
But as we listen in, you look into the corner of Larry Donald. Let's see what they got to say.
Larry, all you have to do is stay busy on the throw combinations, man. Get that rhythm under you. You ain't throwing combinations, Larry. Throw in combinations off the jab. The jab's going now. All you got to do is put the combination. Don't think about it, let him go. He's sitting in there, he's doing everything that we worked on, man. All you gotta do is let the shots go. Okay? Okay. Let him go, man. See how you hit him in the inside? Come on, kid. Not power, boom, boom.
Now here we're gonna take a look at the action from the last round. Let's see what happened with that slip there was well, that nice little shot up underneath there and a little shove, although we didn't get a chance to see the footwork on the logo, so to speak, but that was a kind of off balance. I don't know, it's a little off balance, but he got hit with a...
If he didn't shove him, he might have get credited with a knockdown, but I don't know if he would have gone But Elmo Adolph was a terrific referee right on top of it. And in all fairness to Phil, it shouldn't have been scored a knockdown. So the right thing happened there. Larry now looks like he wants to turn it up a notch here in round 4. Larry Donald to the left of your screen, 37-1. 22 knockouts as a heavyweight. Phil Jackson, 42-9, 38 KOs. He's got more knockouts than Larry Donald has wins. So it's an interesting combination of fighters here that are both battling as best they can to get a shot at where the big money is, and that's a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship.
And you know, but these guys like this are in line for the winner of Johnny Ruiz and Evander Holyfield, which I keep trying to say there's going to be a great, great fight June 10th to Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. That's going to be something that's going to be really, really special. I can't wait to see the clash in that first round of that fight.
Well, Evander's such a warrior, such a finely conditioned machine, such a great boxer. Johnny Ruiz possesses a lot more power than people realize. He's a better fighter than people realize. We're going to find out how good. And I got, like I said, about 100 guys from Boston that are coming out to root for the first Latino. Oh, there's no question who they're cheering for. They're for Johnny Ruiz from Chelsea, Mass.
What a nice guy the quiet man is. I tell you what, he's been explosive in those early rounds. He's 9 of his last 11 fights have been ended by knockout. He's really on the road.
They don't come any nicer than Johnny Ruiz or any more brave than Evander Holyfield. That makes for a great fight. Round number 4, the crowd is getting a little antsy again as these guys. See, the trouble is this isn't a crowd-pleasing sort of fight because both guys have to be cautious of certain things the other guys can do, and there's a lot of defensive strategy. This isn't a type of fight like you saw in Akawandi where Chastain just threw his ears back and let his fist fly. I mean, this guy's a tough man sort of guy, which is crowd-pleasing. This is professional boxing under the rules of the Marquess of Queensberry, and it's not as pleasing as when you get haymakers coming from every place, but it's a strategic sort of fight. People that really understand boxing like this sort of fight, but when you're sitting back in a crowd, you don't see guys getting hit with flush punches, their heads spinning, guys going down, guys staggering. That's what the crowd likes, kind of like an automobile racing where they just wait for the crash to happen. That's what they wait for in boxing. That's a good right hand by Larry Donald.
This is a boxing contest. You know, both guys are real cautious. Both guys know there's a lot on the line.
You know what it's like, Kyle? It's kind of like a pitcher's duel in baseball. It doesn't get beautiful to the late innings. This doesn't get nice looking to the late rounds.
But here we got two well-experienced, very well-conditioned athletes in the ring at the same time, with both guys with an unwillingness to lose. So this is something that's going to transpire or transform into something pretty exciting here as the rounds go on.
Looping right hand doesn't get through. Wow, with the left hand is Larry. Now they turn it up as the bell is about to end. Round number 4. And a good excitement in the last 10 to 15 seconds of the round. And that's what we expect to see, more explosive happenings like that as the fight progresses a little bit and we get through the 5th, 6th, and 7th round of this fight should it go that long. I got Donald, by the way, just being busy and landing more shots out in front in this fight by 2 or 3 rounds. In the corner of Phil Jackson.
Listen, you move inside, but you don't hit it. You need to hit it. You need to walk.
Now here we're going to take a look at some action at the end of the last round. As you can see, Larry Donald on the attack thus far. Some of these punches are not, neither punches really have landed flush on either guy, but it was a little action to see what happens.
You want to win, you need to walk.
Hear them in the corner. Phil said, hey, if you want to win, you got to work, and he does. But you see in the middle of the whole flurry that Larry was throwing, what we were alluding to a couple of rounds ago, is this guy Jackson can be dangerous. You see him come back with that nice left hand. If he could have followed up with the right, Larry could have had some problems instead of probably catching the eyes of the judges in the closing seconds of the 4th. This is round 5. We're in Tunica, Mississippi. You're watching this telecast exclusively on DirecTV across the United States of America and around the world. I'm Bob Sheridan. With me, as usual, is Carl King, and joining us tonight, Steve Grad, my old baseball play-by-play partner, joining us for some really nice interviews with our fighters tonight, giving you a nice insight with our fighters.
Turning out to be a pretty interesting strategic match right now. Both guys are trying to figure each other out. That's why the crowd is a bit displeased right now because it's some action packs that we've seen earlier on. This is falling a little short of that mark thus far, but believe me, folks, I think this is going to heat up pretty rapidly here.
Well, I get the idea that Larry wants to turn it up a little bit of a notch now as we go through these 5th, 6th, and 7th round, and that gets the crowd's attention there.
Just got nailed with a left hook coming off that break there.
Left hand in the face. The jab beginning to take its toll on Phil, too, because it's a stiff jab. Nice left hook that time. Phil loads up his right hand. His left hook to the body and back upstairs. Now, Larry better protect himself on those breaks, I'll tell you, because Phil can be dangerous with the left hook if he can land one inside. Two nice jabs by Larry Donald. I want to see Larry throw more right hands. When he came to that right uppercut and then the right hand right over, see him feint with the left, feint with the left. See, again, it's not the crowd pleaser because there's a lot of strategy that these guys, this isn't just throw your ears back and let them fly. This is a tough fight strategically for both guys. I know people, my critics, that say, oh, there goes the Colonel hyping up the fight again. But, you know something? I love boxing, and every one of them is in a Pier 6 brawl. Well, this happens to be a strategic heavyweight fight.
And you know what, Phil Jackson, to his credit, is he's well-conditioned for this fight, and his upper body movement is rather confusing for Larry Donald right now. And Larry needs to get on track with his left jab, followed by the right hand, and Phil, on the other hand, needs to try to get up under that jab and do some damage with his left hook, right hand, combinations underneath, as he's trying to do right there.
You see, folks, when you sit where we sit, you can feel the danger that can come because we're so close. We can feel the spray of these guys when they get hit, and you can almost feel the punches. And believe me, when heavyweights throw punches, it doesn't go. Oh, the right hand catches.